Okay. Welcome to episode 36 of the Beyond Pixels podcast. Today,
Turtle,
let me just make sure audio is working because I forgot to check that. Okay, audio is working. Today, we're talking about the VRChat community guidelines and any rules that VRChat places on the users of VRChat. We're going to start off talking about what's bad, and I have one key point that I just pulled up. Section 13.4 of the VRChat guidelines. This was a recent update this year-ish, like maybe end of last year, I think, about 10 months ago.
Like back in
VRChat put an update into the community guidelines explaining that they are allowed to monitor your use of the platform, whether or not you're in a private world, including by making audio or video recordings of your activities.
Hold up, what?
So, exactly. VRChat
that is
guidelines.
a huge violation of privacy.
But we are using their game, their platform, so they're allowed to make whatever rules they want. So section 13.4, Secretary, if you want to pull that one up, they are allowed to do anything they want. They can audio and video record. So basically they could have a, thinking back on it, technically they did certain things like this way back in the day, because their moderation could be completely invisible in a private instance. They don't have to join physically into the world, but they can be there looking at everything, hearing everything that's going on without any other players in the room knowing.
Okay, which one did you say? I'm sorry, one more time.
Section 13.4.
This is not in the community guidelines. This is in the terms of service.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm in the community guidelines. Why
Yeah,
the fuck
this
are
was
you
updated in
first?
November 22.
We're going to talk about both because they both go hand in hand. The community
Where's the terms of
guidelines
service?
are
Because the community guidelines.
It's first type. Third paragraph.
Oh, terms of service. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said section. Which one? One more time.
13.4.
Oh, 13.4. Okay, so community guidelines, prohibited content. Anti-cheaters. Okay, monitor. Okay. You want me to read it in full? Or.
Sure.
These terms, VRChat reserves the right to monitor your use of the platform, parentheses, whether or not you are in a private world, location, or setting within the platform, in parentheses, including by making audio or video recordings of your activities on the platform, A, in an automated manner to maintain the security and integrity of the platform, B, if we reasonably believe such monitoring is necessary to investigate a violation of the terms of applicable law, or C, if we are otherwise required to do so by applicable law. If at any time VRChat chooses to monitor any user content or your activities on the platform, the VRChat still assumes no responsibility or liability for content or any loss or damage incurred as a result of the use of user content or your activities on the platform. During monitoring, information may be examined, recorded, copied, and used in accordance with our privacy policy. VRChat may block, filter, mute, remove, or disable access to any user content uploaded to or transmitted through the platform without any liability to the user who posted such user content or to any other users of the platform. For clarity, VRChat does not permit copyright infringing user content or activities on the platform. End.
Yeah, so that basically boils down to VRChat can record audio and visuals in VRChat.
And if we fuck up your reputation and screw up your life to the point where you can't get a job, hey, it's not our fault. Not our fault if we take things out of context.
Yep.
Fuck you.
Yeah, that's not a concern at all.
So that I mean, they do have some limitations saying that it either has to be automated or they have to reasonably believe that the monitoring is necessary to investigate a violation of the terms of or applicable laws, or if they're otherwise required to by law. So basically, if you do something and you're on their radar, they're allowed to monitor you. They're also allowed to monitor.
Won't just jump the gun.
Yeah.
And just start monitoring.
Yeah. So they're allowed to monitor automatically, and that means a person can't be sitting there watching. It has to be an automated system. They're allowed to do it if they have a reason to, or if the law says they have to.
Okay, then that makes a lot more sense. You made it sound like
Yeah.
I'd just be like sleeping a VRChat one day, and a VRChat mod is just going to be hovering over me.
Yeah. So
you still asleep?
I think the reason they had to put that guideline in is, as I was explaining before, and I have actually witnessed the VRChat staff team end up in an instance with me upon my request years ago, long before this guideline was in place, and they were invisible. They were not physically there. They were there. They were able to hear and see everything that was going on in the world, but we couldn't see or hear that they were in the world. So that's sort of why they added this guideline, to protect themselves in cases where they have to do things like that. People can't be like, you're violating user privacy. Well, it's in the policies now, so yeah. So that one is somewhere between bad and good for VRChat policy and guidelines. That was the main one that I wanted to touch on.
Are you still on terms of service? Because scroll down to 23 and read the third.
I actually don't have the terms of service up. I only had that one.
Oh, okay. I have it up if you want me to read this to you. 23, by the way, is called limitation of liability. I can read it all if you want, but I just wanted to read the most interesting part.
Go for it.
It says, some jurisdictions do not allow the exclusion or limitation of liability for consequential or incidental damages. Accordingly, the above limitation may not apply to you.
Also, did you know that by continuing to use VRChat, we have agreed to binding arbitration with them? So if we tried to sue them, we have to go through their lawyers and only use their lawyers, basically.
Oh no, I'd tell them
and
to go
what their lawyers say is whatever their lawyers say is happening is what happens. Well, you can have your own lawyer, but whatever their arbitration lawyer says, you agree with that.
Yeah,
as
then
long
I
as
would
I'm
take
not
them
being
into a civil
spied
court.
on for no reason, then that policy does make sense.
Arbitration clauses are a massive fucking fuck you to most people, because if a company does something that is negligence, an arbitration clause allows them. Wow, I am unable to speak today. An arbitration clause allows them to say, no, we don't go through the regular court system. We go through a third-party arbitration of their choice, usually. So if you try to sue VRChat, it doesn't go into a regular court. A regular judge never sees it, and the world will never know that it's happening because you're under the arbitration rules, which usually say that you cannot go public with any of the information.
Okay, well, Turtle, I can disprove everything you just said between 24 and 25 of terms of service. 24 is third-party disputes, and 25 is governing law mentioning the state of California.
For the most part, the arbitration stands. But if there's something that goes against their own arbitration rules.
A general release does not extend to claims which the creditor does not know or suspect to exist in his favor at the time of executing the release, which, if known by him, must have materially affected his settlement with the debtor.
Yeah, that doesn't explain the process.
Outstanding
the process is explained as arbitration.
Outstanding exceptions aside, that's what's in place.
Arbitration is...
VRChat, do me a favor. If I got one piece of advice for you, leave San Francisco. It's turning into a fucking dumpster. All right? It says here you're based in San Francisco. Leave. All right? Go to Texas.
To be fair, the bar
It's better.
for that's kind of low.
Eddie, back off.
I know. I'm telling him go to Texas. You might actually have better laws there. But it
Plus,
says
like,
governing
half
law.
the people that use VRChat are already associated in Texas anyway. Hi.
Okay, this one here will take me less than 30 seconds to get through. 25, governing law. These terms are governed by the laws of the state of California without regard to conflict with law principles that would result in the application of the laws of another jurisdiction. If a lawsuit or court proceeding is permitted under these terms, then you and VRChat agree to submit to the personal exclusive jurisdiction of the state courts and federal courts located within San Francisco, California, for the purpose of litigating any dispute. We operate the platform primarily from the United States, and we make no representation that materials included in the platform are appropriate or available for use in other locations. So basically, if you want to actually take any form of litigation at all, you have to take it to San Francisco, which they would have to prove that I actually do business in San Francisco.
I can tell you now, I don't.
fuck no,
Usually, if you agreed to the terms, which you did by playing VRChat, then you agree to those terms, stating that if possible at all, you have to go through their local court system. And that is basically 99.9% possible if you live within the US to go through their court system.
First of all, they're talking about the copyright. Can we be real for a second? Can we be real for a fucking second? Oh, Pokash is joining, boys.
Oh, shit.
Oh, fuck yeah.
A new opinion.
Well, anyway, so like that,
All right,
that was
but
the biggest thing I wanted to talk about. The arbitration.
I at least want to throw this out there in terms of like when they talk about copyright. First of all, fuck your copyright policies. You people don't follow them. You know how many Disney, Marvel, DC, and fucking Funimation characters I see in VR? You know how many Nappas I've met? You know how many fucking Dragon Ball Z characters I've seen?
listen,
Naruto characters?
They do follow copyright law when they are forced to. You are not
That's why it's
required to
still
follow.
that's my criticism.
listen.
That's why they're still in alpha status. If they go full, if they get out of early access, they get out of early access, they're fucked.
You're wrong. You're wrong. And let me tell you why. Being early access or not early access makes zero legal difference. Zero. There is no legal difference if a game is in early access, alpha, or full release. There is zero legal difference at all
Poke,
in
you can say
how it is
whatever you
handled
want.
within the court. But the reason VRChat will never have an issue with it is because of its guidelines, its requirements, and a DMCA claim has to be made first before you can take someone to court for it. So you can post as much copyrighted content out in the world as you want up until one company says, hey, you can't do that, take it all down now.
I know, I'm saying that's why VRChat is never going to go out of early access, is because they keep on.
Why would that
Think
make
about
a
this.
difference?
It's been a decade.
How does that make a single difference? How does early access make any legal difference in how VRChat is handled? It makes zero legal difference.
If it goes to if it becomes full blown AAA or whatever it wants to be or whatever it wants to end up down the line,
it acts exactly the same as it is now. There is no legal difference whether it's fucking released or in alpha. There is none, not a single bit.
I still think they would get
If your argument includes they will never come out of alpha because of that, it's called completely null and void. Pick a different
Why
argument.
are they still in early access then? Why are they still in early access? They keep saying early access. It's been a fucking 10 years.
Same reason
Because
7
they are
days was in
still
early access
doing-
for 6 years.
Because they're doing heavy development and still building on the core systems of VRChat.
Yeah,
The
I know.
early
And
access tag,
you know who
if
else
you
is
didn't
doing
notice-
that? Fallout 76, Fallout 4, Skyrim.
Yeah,
I mean,
a lot of
all
games
those
do it,
things
and
are
there's
still in
There's no
development.
real reason because there's no difference. And did you
I
ever
just got an
notice
update
that
for Doom
VRChat
Eternal.
let me speak here. Did you ever notice that VRChat in their menu for the last, like, what, 3 years, it has not said
You're just
early
in time
access?
for the turtle circuitry debate.
It does not say.
Yeah, do you know what
anywhere
your
in
loading
your
screen
quick menu.
says every time you load in? It says early access.
Okay.
Your
That's
loading screen
one
every single time.
place. And again,
No,
it doesn't make a
it's
difference.
good point.
It makes no legitimate difference. There is no good point to it. The labeling of it means nothing. I can release a fucking software today and I can say it's fucking pre-alpha, and then the next day say it's alpha, and the next day say it's beta, and the next day say it's full release. It means literally nothing. It's just a label put on it. There is nothing legal, binding, no rules to how you call it or how you label it. There's nothing.
Okay, so you agree with me then.
So
All
don't
right.
use that.
Glad we actually agree.
I'm not agreeing with you on that. I'm saying that you're saying that if it changes something somehow if they come out of alpha, and I'm saying there is literally no difference. It's just a label.
Then how come they're not being
And-
sued by Disney and all these big fucking companies right now for their assets being used in this game right now?
Because
you see it on
those big
YouTube. You see it on YouTube.
Because
Right
let me
now.
fucking talk. Let me tell you why. It's because those big companies would have to go after the specific creators that uploaded the content, or
no,
tell
they
VRChat.
just go after the platform. They would
No,
just go after the platform.
no. Let me explain this. YouTube. Did they go after YouTube and sue YouTube for
Yes,
having
they did.
people upload
In
copyright
2017,
content?
we talked about this in the last episode. We talked about the adpocalypse. Yes, they will go after
That was not big companies suing YouTube. That was big companies telling YouTube, "Hey, take this shit off your platform, or we will."
No, that
sue
was
you."
mainstream.
And
Exactly, but it's the same principle. You have to agree with me on that.
And I'm explaining that to you. I'm explaining how VRChat would not be negatively affected by it.
I think
The
it would
big
be.
companies, it would not. VRChat already has in place guidelines and rules and regulations and
So how
policies
come none of them are
internally.
being followed? That's what I want to know.
They are, but it takes, just like on YouTube, it takes someone making a report like, "Hey, I own that content. That's not allowed on your platform," before it gets removed.
Exactly.
Like
What do
I
you
was
think the
trying to
Wall Street
say.
Journal did by reporting on PewDiePie? He got the fucker canceled. It's the same
Like
principle.
I was trying to, it's so different. I don't know what the fuck you're going on about. I'm trying to explain how the rules and how everything actually functions with a DMCA claim, and you're going off on La La Land about it being something completely different.
No, it's the same principle. I'm saying the same principle,
It's the same
value.
principle as how YouTube functions with their copyright claims. VRChat functions the same way. If you didn't know, one of the movie worlds in VRChat got DMCA takedown, along with the account that uploaded that world was banned for 30 days. That was due
Creator's
to
World, yeah.
that was due to a company giving VRChat a DMCA notice. The same as how YouTube has its own built-in system, there is a legal system already in place for every company in existence. If you use someone's copyrighted content without their permission, that company has the right to give you a DMCA takedown. And if you do not comply, then that company has the right to file legal paperwork against you. But they have to show in that legal paperwork, before they can file that legal paperwork, they have to show that they actually let you know and gave you a reasonable chance to take that down. And it is VRChat's responsibility to take action when they are given the ultimatum of take action or be sued. It is VRChat's responsibility. And they do that. If they didn't, then that movie world wouldn't have been taken down.
Okay, but I was also mentioning avatars in there as well.
Yes, and avatars work the same way. I'm using the movie world as an example because people have had that happen. That has happened in recent times. Avatars work the same way. If you are the copyright owner of an avatar and you find out someone else uploaded it to VRChat, or if, let's say, you're a movie firm and you made a movie using, or you made an avatar using something ripped from a movie or a game, right? You have the right to issue a DMCA takedown request on VRChat. And they have to do something about it. VRChat has to either say, yep, you're right, this is yours, or VRChat can say, no, I don't think you actually own that. Let's go to court and fight it out there.
Okay, two
That's
things.
how the
One,
copyright all works.
okay, two things. One, I don't agree with you that VRChat would do anything about it because they failed to actually implement 30% of their community guidelines over the course of the past 3 years.
That's
We've
not a
seen it
community
happen.
guideline. That's a legal. That's a fully legal thing. If
Okay,
they
let
don't,
me finish.
they get
Let me
sued.
finish. Let me finish.
So
let me
you're
finish.
wrong already. You are simply wrong
No,
already.
they have failed to actually implement 30 of it. And second of all, is do you think even if these companies, do you think VRChat would actually withstand everything that these companies throw at them? We're talking about Marvel. We're talking about Disney.
That's why I'm saying VRChat would and does take the DMCA takedowns seriously and take down the content. Did you listen to that part? I explained the whole process, and VRChat has already proven that they do take DMCA takedowns seriously and remove the content when they are given a DMCA takedown. DMCA takedowns are not magical, automatic. As soon as you upload copyrighted content to the internet, someone sends a DMCA immediately.
Okay.
No, someone
Okay.
has to
We'll
find
just-
that content and take it down and request for it to be taken down. Do you understand
Okay,
that?
we'll just. Yeah, I do understand, but we're just gonna have to agree to disagree. I don't think VRChat is fully fucking competent.
It's not an agree to disagree issue. It's a literal.
No,
they have a legal
you're
team.
saying that they're going to take action. I'm saying they're not. I think they're too
They-
stupid to take action.
If they've already taken action. You are sitting here telling me that they're not going to take action when they already
No, I'm
have.
saying that they're
when
too
they received a
stupid.
DMCA takedown. You are saying that they're too stupid to take action
But also,
when they
I
have
didn't
already
say they were
shown that they
enforcing the terms
have
of service.
taken the action.
I didn't say they weren't.
You were talking about
enforcing their-
copyright. We're not talking about their terms
talk-
of service at all. We're talking about copyright infringement. Because their terms of service notes about copyright infringement. And it does that because it legally has to. And I'm explaining the legal process that happens when there is copyright infringing material on the platform. And you are
I
saying,
know.
no,
Okay,
that doesn't
all right.
happen.
Dude,
when
we're
VRChat
gonna be
has
here for-
already done it.
We're gonna be here
I don't
for
like
hours.
that you're disagreeing with me when they have already proven that they do exactly what I'm saying. And you're like, no, they
Well, they don't because I
They're
can
too
go to a
stupid.
world right now and get a Tigger skin if I wanted to.
Okay, and you're not listening to what I'm saying. You're not listening to everything I'm saying. The reason you can still go get that avatar is because there has not been a DMCA takedown on that avatar.
I know, but let's
You
say that
understand
one
that?
happens. That's my point.
If one happens, it will get taken down. Because guess what? We have a fucking real life example that has already happened. The movie worlds. They had DMCA takedowns on them. They got taken down.
Okay, you know what?
You
Believe
can't
you
tell me
want,
that
what you want to
VRChat is
believe.
too stupid. You cannot tell me that VRChat's too stupid to follow a DMCA takedown that is a literal legal threat to sue. And they're just going to ignore that. You can't tell me that they do that when they have already shown that they do take them seriously. You can't fucking.
Can we
you
move on,
can't.
please?
You can't, dude. Just. Jesus.
You know what? I've done enough talking. I'll pass it on to somebody else. I need to pee real fast. Give me a sec.
Just don't fucking tell me that they don't do something that they have already shown that
Turn
they.
off.
That is one thing that makes me extremely fucking angry. If you sit there and deny reality and claim the opposite when there is literal proof sitting right in front of you, that is just so aggravating. Anyway, something
You're 20
that
minutes and I'm already tired.
something that I want to talk about. How could the VRChat guidelines or terms of service be better? And we're not talking the enforcement of it. We're talking the actual guidelines themselves. Like, for example, I even have a note here. Would it be reasonable for VRChat to put age limits and start age gating certain content?
I feel like
I
even
can't
if
be
they
the only
did
one talking.
that,
Yes. Yeah.
there would be
Sorry,
people
my
that
mic is
find
muted since
workarounds.
my AC's going on and off, and I don't want everyone to be annoyed by that.
Mine was muted because you two wouldn't shut up.
I was drinking the
That
whole
too.
time.
But age gating stuff is definitely like an important thing to note, because that also depends on the creators themselves to actually put proper tags on their models and worlds for the age gating to be effective.
Which currently VRChat does require that you put proper notes or proper tags on your worlds and avatars. They
Of
just
course,
did not.
That's only the newer stuff
they-
that's in effect. Older stuff is kind of like hard to deal with.
Nope. Actually, when they brought this out, when they started requiring it, they retroactively require it. So you have to actually go back and retroactively add the tags to your avatars and worlds. And if you
So
don't,
there's no more being grandfathered in.
If you don't, you can be reported for it.
Right, makes sense.
Although VRChat did that, and at the same time, a month or so later, they actually enabled age gating, because apparently when you sign up for VRChat, you have to enter a birthday. And then they realized, oh shit, we didn't always do that. There's millions of accounts that don't have birthdays on them. Fuck.
That reminds me.
That's very interesting, actually.
Yeah. So they actually then went back and disabled that system.
Yeah, having all their older
so-
users that have been on since like the start to do that suddenly, they'd have to like roll it out as an optional thing
Yeah.
at first, and then require it after a little while.
Yeah.
Because that would make more sense,
Yeah.
especially for that kind of stuff. But then, like a lot of the times, we're going back to like old social media things. Like, I can't tell
People
you
just
who,
lie about
if
their
anyone
age
in
on
my age generation lied about their age to make a Facebook account, or maybe even for those of us who are
man.
old enough, MySpace.
Man, I had MySpace and Facebook.
Poke
When I
Ash,
was, like,
you have
10.
no idea the timeline you fucking sent me down. Oh my.
Yep. Sorry, but that's just comparison for current topic. Let's not diverge.
The thing is, you're right.
Well, yeah. Pretty much this
Yeah,
this
so
game says it's for 13 and up, and I don't know a 13-year-old today that can't say, oh yeah, I'm definitely 21.
Yeah. So age gating is not super feasible. It's a faith-based age gating. You know, hopefully you
really
didn't lie
is.
about your age. And that's kind of why, like, any group instances in VRChat or groups that say they're 18 plus only, I less than a group that's just wide open to anyone, because it's a
Right.
false sense of security when you say we don't allow anyone under 18 in our group. The
How are they
chance of
supposed
there
to
being
enforce
someone
that?
under 18,
Exactly.
yeah, there is no way to actually enforce it.
Legally speaking,
and
there's nothing
so-
they can do.
Yeah, so you can't look at that group and be like, ah, yeah, I trust there's only people over 18 in there. No, you have to be
Yeah.
more skeptical.
Some of these groups have gone to like ID verification. It was like over my dead fucking body.
That may
Yeah,
work
that's
if
a
they're
bit of
doing
a
like a
privacy
Discord
issue.
group that goes from Discord to there, and they're like exclusive. You must
But-
be in the Discord to verify age, and like three
You
people
wanna know
must
the-
be witness or something. But it's not gonna work.
You want to know the
You can still
hilarious
fake
thing, though? Oh, yeah, you can easily fake it. All I have to do is hand one of my fucking expired IDs off to someone, and fucking
All they gotta do
Photoshop's
is
pretty damn easy,
Photoshop
too.
their own face into there, and that's it. Done.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is
I've even
not
used
that
one of my
hard,
expired
especially
IDs
with the way AI
to
works
verify
these days,
in a server once.
to fake your appearance.
Yeah, that too. It wouldn't take much for AI to just be like, here's a picture of my face, here's a picture of the ID, make it work.
And just to be
Yeah,
clear, we're
so-
not knocking at AI. We're just pointing out what
Well,
it can do.
I actually love AI,
AI has a lot of
when it's used in the
possibility.
right.
Well, yeah, you've made
I
over,
love
what,
AI when it's
600
used in the right
songs with
context.
an AI DJ.
Yes.
Cursed.
Yeah. So
Quite.
like that's one of the big things that age gating.
Turtlebot had a
It's
hell of a
not
career
really
change.
feasible. It would be amazing if they could guarantee with like 99% accuracy that anyone with a special tag in VRChat is over 18. That would be awesome.
That would be, but unfortunately, they're
then-
having to rely upon a system that is 100% honor based, and not to
Yeah.
mention it's all like parental
But also-
approved, even though it's like parental.
Here's another thing. The idea to put a tag on a VRChat account where everyone can just look at you, click on you, and be like, "Oh, okay, they're over 18." That opens up the possibility for someone that is over 18 to abuse that system in the wrong way.
Oh, very much so. Like they would bully those without those, or even like other way around, and there would be malicious content made.
Even worse. Even worse.
Oh,
Of the obsessive variety.
I'm not. Yeah. You know what I'm saying. I'm not going to
go
spell it
further
out.
words. Yep. No need.
Yeah,
I'm
I
lost.
That's
understand.
why there will never be a system
Sir,
like that in VRChat.
Yeah.
I will DM you.
You don't
It's,
have to
this
do
is
that.
something that
I
we're
just-
not
I
spoken
described
on.
We're
the
not
term.
speaking the words because that's horrible. But yeah, so that's
No,
also one of those things. I don't. Just age gating in VRChat just not going to ever happen. It's not possible.
Okay.
You get it now, sir?
So what could VRChat reasonably
And now I will delete
do?
that message for just out of context reasons because it has
Okay,
nothing
yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
for
That's
context
fine.
in the DM.
What could
But I figured that's
VRChat
an-
reasonably do to make the guidelines or the TOS better?
I have a suggestion. Do the same thing that YouTube and Twitch does. Work with, I believe it's called KMAC. Have you heard of it?
I have not.
Yes, I have.
I mean, it is a it's an what do you call it? Whenever it's like FBI, but it stands for something. But what do you call that
Acronym.
acronym?
It's an
I was thinking
acronym?
anagram. I was thinking
Not gonna laugh, that's what
anagram.
you're saying.
Anagram is, I'm pretty sure, a
I do
word that
too.
is said the same way backwards and
I
forwards.
know. I'm tired. I've been awake since 4 a.m. Fuck you. But no,
Bros.
so CAMEC CAMEC stands for, and I think this might give it away, the Central Agency for Missing and Exploited Children. And what this agency does is they work with local law enforcement and federal law enforcement, state law enforcement, in order to investigate someone without actually raising suspicion. They acquire warrants, they acquire subpoenas, they work within the bounds of the law.
So
It's the same
if one of-
agency. Okay, so
If
for
that
context,
agency wanted to work with VRChat, they already have the legal grounds to do so.
I mean, yeah, but
and require
VRChat hasn't
VRChat to
done it.
comply.
I looked it up. I tried to find anything involving KMAC and VRChat, and I couldn't find it.
Oh, if they're doing something, they're just not going to make it public, and they have no reason to
Well,
let
no,
anyone know.
but even Twitch and YouTube
if law
both make it
enforcement-
clear that they actually work with this agency. Even YouTube says it in their community guidelines. I can screenshot it.
I don't even
Which
know
is
how
funny.
Definitely
working
be a
with that agency
possibility
would
that
do anything
VRChat
for
might-
VRChat, though.
Go to doing that. I mean, who's to say what the
I
future
want
holds
them
anyway?
to do that because I'd
I
rather
don't know
that
what
would
they
be
would
great
accomplish
program.
doing anything in VRChat, though.
Okay,
That's the thing.
so-
Like,
Well,
they are for that group to do anything, they already have to have a lead. They can't just go blasting out, looking at every person in the world. That's not legal.
Okay,
A
so
federal
I
agency
do
can't
have
do that.
I do have a story. I tried to find the article and I can't find it, but I'll see if I can. But I know this occurred somewhere around October, November of 2023. Was
quiet.
the social? Y'all know WhatsApp?
Yep.
It's like a social like sharing
it's
app.
another
Like,
social platform for communication.
It's a
That's all.
It
social
is an
platform,
end-to-end
but they-
encrypted. It's an end-to-end encrypted messenger.
Yeah, it's basically
It's
yeah.
more or less
but
just like
WhatsApp.
texting.
So
Yeah.
in my home state, a man was somebody was arrested for how do I put this? They owned 500 plus
Really bad shit.
pieces of stuff,
Really bad
No more
shit.
including
words.
Okay.
I'll just say
That's
it
We
involves,
already got it. We already got it.
It
You
involved
don't need to
terrible
spell it
stuff
out.
that should never
Do
be
not spell
spoken
it out.
out.
basically, but he wasn't arrested until February because they wanted to confirm that his email address, KMac, actually contacted the local sheriff's office. They got subpoenas and warrants to search through WhatsApp's data in order to check his email, make sure it connects to his account, make sure that this email is connected to him, checking other
Basically
accounts.
going through the legal chain.
yeah,
to pin
making
this
sure-
guy.
Let me
And they
understand this. Twitter and or Twitch and YouTube publicly say that they will work with that group and comply with
Yes.
their requests.
yes.
VRChat,
yes.
if there's a subpoena, if there is any legal thing, VRChat legally has to comply with that request. So VRChat does not have to publicly say, hey, we're willing to comply to your requests. That's just the
Yeah, but at
company
the same
deciding
time,
to. It's kind of
it-
stupid. And It
but here's the thing,
It makes
if
no
you put a
difference
s-
whether they do or don't.
I think
It would
so.
expedite
If
the
you put-
process. That's pretty much all it would do.
It wouldn't, because even YouTube wouldn't be able to give out personal information about you, even in their
True.
YouTube cannot give away your name, your address, your personal information without a court order. Legally, they
Maybe not
cannot.
YouTube, but Google can.
No. Literally, any website that you put your information into, they either have to explicitly tell you that they are going to give your information out for free, or they legally cannot, and then that information cannot legally be used in a court of law. So it makes literally no difference if you publicly say, yeah, we're going to comply with their requests, or just not making it public that you're going to comply with their requests and just complying with their requests because you legally have to. So.
And I'm pretty
Look,
sure
I'm just
since
waiting
like
until they come up with their
VRChat is
own
based in the
squad
U.S.,
called
they would
VR
definitely
Mac.
fall under the U.S. court system.
Yep, they would legally have to comply. If the law says, hey, we have a subpoena for this user's information, either under this email address, this username, whatever, give us everything, or get us in a room with them and start recording what's happening. The court can legally ask for that.
Yep.
Trying to see.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Sorry, your stream's stuck on an ad break. And one of the ads I'm getting is for an internet company that keeps coming to my door.
Ooh. I don't know if this.
They
I
really
am
want your
not,
money.
nor will
I
I,
don't know,
ever be interested.
Okay, so it doesn't list all of the websites, but it does list the ones on my. It lists Facebook, Instagram, Pornhub, MindGeek, OnlyFans, Yobo, and MG Free Sites and Meta.
Okay.
But the reason why I brought up Twitch is because the Dr. Disrespect situation was actually reported to the same agency. That's
Well,
why I
you
brought
can
that.
report. You can report anything from anywhere to an agency, and
Yeah, but no, the website did it,
Yeah.
not the person. The website is the one that sends it.
okay. Well, VRChat still has and has done things in the past. They have complied with legal orders. I guarantee they have. They're just not going to be public about it because,
No.
one, that would drive people away from VRChat way fucking fast, even though every platform on the internet complies with legal requests.
No, just
For
people
information?
abusing children, which I'm all for, by the way.
Can you rephrase that?
Yes,
I
please
didn't
do.
even hear
That
what
sounded
Serpentine
really
said.
fucking terrible.
Holy fuck!
Okay, I
Hang
need
on.
to rephrase that. I am all for people. I'm all for driving away people who abuse children.
That is
So
much
it'll drive
better.
those people away. Yeah,
I
that's
don't even-
a lot. Holy
I
fuck.
don't even
Don't
want
worry
to
about it.
know
I was
what
going
was
off of
said.
your sentence.
You
I
can
was
go back
going
and
off
look
of your
if you really want
sentence.
to.
There was enough of a pause that we were all just holy fuck.
Well,
Anyway.
I had to
lost
think about what I
completely,
said.
so-
I had to think about what I said. I was like, no,
Anyway,
I'm not for
so
that.
Breaking notice now.
I swear to God, if you clip that, I will fucking kill you.
Well, now that you mentioned
my
it's the
God.
law. It has to be clipped.
Well, there goes my career.
anyway, so
It'll just be out of context. That's
Delete
it.
it.
Turtle will delete
Nah,
that.
it's
Comes up
fine.
to it.
It's fine. These people are gonna find any reason.
it's gonna
Fuck
be
'em.
on YouTube. So
Yeah, I'm on kick,
About
assholes.
that,
What are you
should
gonna
this be
do?
the first time we edit something out in post?
I mean,
this wouldn't
Nah,
be
it's
the first
fine.
time, and I'm not going to
Leave
do it for
it,
this one because
leave
this
it,
was
leave
just
it,
a funny.
leave
It's a funny
Anyway,
moment.
so no,
Or
I
setting off
I
a
agree
powder
with
keg.
complying with it, but also being public about it and saying, "Hey, we just gave this user's information to the FBI or to this group." Yeah, that's a legal issue. That's a fucking
'Cause
legal
it's
issue. Unless
Giving out
that
private
person,
information in public, which shouldn't
yes, exactly. You
Okay,
cannot.
Turtle, can I-
If you pass information to one of those organizations, you
Mhm.
should not be making the fact that you passed that information over to them public. It should be up to the person whose information was passed to make it public, or if it comes out in a court document, then it's public. Because it could be, if it was in this case, if they recorded that like 10-second clip and then sent that off to one of those agencies, that's defamation because it's falsifying or it's not accurate information. And you can claim
spreading
that every piece
incomplete
of information you
information that
sent
is
to them.
malicious.
Yeah, misinformation
Yeah.
and propaganda. I get that. Yeah. I think you
Yeah,
misunderstood
so
what I said.
they're
I think you
you,
misunderstood.
what you told me. What you said is Twitch sent that information to one of those agencies, and Twitch
Yeah,
made
but they
it
never
public that
published
sent that
what
information.
they never published it. It never
but
got
they
published.
said they did. But did
No, they
Twitch
didn't.
themselves say
No,
they sent that
it
information?
didn't come
Who?
out until just recently.
Okay, who
Because somebody-
sent that information? Who released the information that Twitch sent
Just
that information?
just Twitch. I don't know exactly who in Twitch.
No,
Maybe
you're-
whoever's in
Okay,
charge of
okay,
safety.
You're not listening to what I'm asking for.
Oh my god,
Who-
if you two start again, I will fucking
What?
leave.
What person or group or company made it public that Twitch sent that information over? Was
I
it Twitch
genuinely do
that
not
made it
know.
public that Twitch made that action? Or was it Dr. Disrespect? Or was it that group? Or what? Do you know that
Okay,
information?
the only way I know about that was through a New York Times post. Somebody
Okay, so we don't know.
How long
Yeah,
did you
someone.
think
It's
it was
anonymous. I can't answer that question because I
okay.
don't know the answer.
So
Because it's
again,
anonymous. It was
legally-
reported to the media, and the media is the
Not
one
the
that
whole,
reported
but-
it.
And what I'm
Little bit.
saying, what the reason I'm asking for that
Basically,
piece
you
of
only
information and the
missed
fact
2
that you
minutes
can't
of
tell it
You didn't
is
miss a whole lot.
perfect. Because
Wow.
Typically, it
VRChat,
comes
I
down to one
guarantee,
debate,
I am very certain VRChat has
but
had
if the
to
wrong
comply
brain gets
with
picked,
a
I
request for
swear to
information,
God, it's
or
like a
has in their
minefield.
own humanity taken
I'm sorry in
information that they
advance, just in
found in
case I'm the
VRChat
cause.
and passed it on. But VRChat is not going to come out publicly
I'm
and
good at
say,
pointing out
hey, we
details
just
that
sent
people don't usually
XYZ's
think about."
user information because
I know,
we
I thought
found
about
them
it,
doing
just-
this bad thing. They're not going to ever do
no.
that.
Bringing it up.
Everything
And
would
the
stay
employees
behind
of
closed
VRChat are
doors.
under NDA.
That's the
Exactly. So
Yeah,
That's
I
the
think
whole
this
point
is
about
part of my fault
investigation.
at this point.
So
Like,
you
just
wanting
that out.
VRChat
I
to
guarantee if you
partner
hadn't
with
said
that group
anything,
makes
they
no
would have found
sense to me.
something to debate anyway.
No, it makes perfect sense to me because they've actually caught actual pedophiles.
You're not listening
think
to what I'm
this
saying.
is
You're
beginning
going
to
off
go
on
a
something
little
completely
towards an
different, and
off-topic.
we're done
No,
with that.
no.
We're done with it because you're not getting what I'm fucking saying. You are skirting what I'm saying and completely changing it to
I'm
go
gonna
off
go
on
get a
something
drink.
else that is
Okay, so-
way different
okay,
than what I was
Good
saying.
idea.
Explain,
Hydration's
So we're
explain
done
to
with
me.
I have 3 times.
Speaking of chat, anyone
I'm
in
done.
chat, if you're just sitting there just listening to this, go get yourself a drink of water. Hydration's important.
Actually, he's not wrong. Hydration is important.
You should drink water.
So what other VRChat guidelines are interesting, controversial, or weird?
I want to talk about behavior.
Ooh, where is that section?
Go to, it's just right at the top, right below general guidelines, behavioral guidelines.
Is it in the guidelines or the TOS?
No, guidelines, not TOS. We'll take it away from
Guidelines.
TOS.
Okay,
I
let me
want
find
to
that.
talk
Terms of
about
service
community
is the legal
guidelines because
stuff.
that's the
Guidelines
actual
is-
name of the episode.
Makes sense.
Well,
Going
the-
over
the
guidelines.
Guidelines and TOS both go hand in hand all the time. Trust me.
TOS is the
Like,
more
if you-
legal end, where guidelines is the yeah, this is how it's interpreted.
Yeah, the guidelines are usually a more human readable, regular.
It's for the
Like, hey,
user
we
to
don't
understand
like this.
what is intended by the
But to
development
be fair,
team
most of them are
or
just
moderation
common
team.
sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you forget we're in a world where common sense isn't common anymore.
Okay, so behavioral guidelines. I see that. Oh man, this first section. Let me read this. Sexist, racist, hateful, harassing, or discriminatory language, behavior, iconography, groups, or content is never permitted in any form. We do not tolerate intolerance.
Wow, being
Allow
a piece of
me.
shit
Go
is
to-
against their
Go to
guidelines.
literally any
Go
public
figure.
world. Go to literally any public world, and holy shit, you're gonna hear that.
Take it from me
so
as an
much.
experienced public world hopper. I've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
There are so many people who do not follow this guideline. It is not funny.
Yeah. So
If
no,
anyone
this ties
watching
into
right now
something else.
has never played VRChat, if you go into a public world
So-
for your first experience, God have mercy on you.
Oh, God,
Okay,
have
let me
mercy
talk
on
about
you.
something quick. So I've gone to public worlds and people have been like, I never report people because VRChat never does anything about it. And I'm like, yes, they fucking do.
That's a load
They'll
of
do
shit.
something
You
if you
actually
report.
report
They don't
people.
do anything if you don't report.
Exactly. If 10 people report a user for something, there is a very good chance that user is going to have an automatic public ban and be investigated around that time. Like what avatars were they in, whatever. They're going to be investigated. And that
Yeah.
ties into the first thing we talked about, one of the terms of service. And this is why I wanted to talk about the terms of service first. It ties into them being allowed to record audio and visuals. So
Yeah, I was about to say.
if they have an
So I believe
an
around the
automated
time of
system,
reporting, there's a short recording.
if
So it's not a
if
constant
you-
recording. It's always around
Yep.
the time of reporting. So it's like plus minus,
They're
I want
like
to say,
snippet.
what, 10 minutes?
no clue, and they'll never make that known. But they
Yeah,
are
it's
allowed to
something
do
that
that.
we don't know
We
about,
don't even
but-
we actually don't even know if they do that or not. It's
They just
assumed
said that
they
it's a
do now.
possibility.
Exactly.
Because they did announce
keeping
at one
people
point that
on
they
their
were thinking
toes
about doing it.
certainly
It was a
helps.
thing that a lot of people were complaining about, like breach of privacy, but they're not
Yeah,
going to constantly
so
record
that
us
was-
because that's a breach of privacy
was the-
anyway.
Yeah,
that was
and
the
that was
first
my
thing we went
concern at the
over,
start of the podcast.
And that was
Yeah.
that was the first thing we went over, and it is very specific in what they're allowed to do. They're not allowed to just, like, since we're all sitting here and they have no reason to look into us, then their own terms of service say that they can't just record all of everything that's going on right here. But
No, I'd say
if
if one of
someone
us in
gets
this
reported,
instance were to report someone in here, then that'd be a
then
different story.
they would have reason. Then their terms of service gives reason. So yeah. Anyway, that's just one of the things. Like, a lot of people don't think VRChat does anything because they don't make it public. Although it's fucking hilarious now that VRChat's been making it public about their mass bans.
I do find that interesting about that, but like going just a little bit back in regards to that whole if you don't report, nothing can be done about it. We can go back to the bystander effect, right? So like, say an accident happens right in front of you, you think, oh, someone else is calling it in, I won't bother. Everyone else is going to think that same thing. Same principle can be applied to reporting problems in VRChat.
Mob
Oh my
mentality.
god, really, Eddie? Really, Eddie?
Exactly,
Oh
mob
my God, why are
mentality
you all up in my
with the
face?
bystander
You boy.
effect.
Yeah.
It's like,
Okay.
just take the
Also-
initiative,
Oh,
take 5 seconds
Oh,
to put
Jesus.
out the report, and that's
Oh.
it. If you
Oh,
want to
man,
make
I
it
just-
detailed, take
oh.
10 minutes.
Okay, so I want to continue reading this section of the guidelines, the behavioral guidelines. So do not attack or discriminate against a person or a community based on attributes such as race, ethnicity, caste, national origin, sex, gender identity, gender presentation, sexual orientation, religious affiliation, age, serious illness, disability, or other protected classifications. I don't want to talk about that
Don't
section.
be a shit.
I don't want to
Yeah,
talk
I
about
just
that
want to
section.
be
I have
open-ended for as things change, so they don't have to write any
That-
more jargon.
Well, that section could be construed as going into a public world and seeing pronouns in someone's bio and being like, ew, I don't like that. Block.
Hey,
I literally do not
VRChat,
give
I
a
actually
shit.
identify as a motherboard. Am I protected?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, Circuit.
So anyway, this is the point
Oh,
that
my
I wanted
Lord.
to. These next 2 points are the ones I want to talk about a little more. Disagreements are normal, but making repeated, continued, or severe negative comments or circumventing blocks or bans can cross the line into harassment.
At that point, I would say it
So
goes into
basically,
legal
I
ground,
think-
wouldn't it?
Oh, I could
With
I could
that-
drop a
yeah,
name
that one
right
it
now,
does.
but I'm holding my tongue. I
Yeah,
could
we
drop
both know
Glad you're
exactly what
holding your-
name.
I could
know-
drop a name
I
right
know a
now,
name.
but I am holding my fucking tongue.
So
Jesus
basically,
Christ.
if someone blocks
Goddamn.
you, or you get banned from VRChat and you go around that and join back in on someone that has already blocked you by let's say creating a new account, and you join them again, that's harassment immediately.
Or, since this is happening quite a few public instances we went to, sending your friends after someone who's blocked you.
Yeah, that too could also be considered harassment. So this next key point, role playing or historical significance is not an excuse. So that basically means you cannot reenact the world wars, one specific
I was about
world
to
war.
ask that.
You can't react those world wars in VRChat,
What
or
if
you're
I,
breaking
well,
the
what
community
if,
guidelines.
What if I wanted to do like a Civil War march where we actually do the musket march? You know, the
Well,
I
we got
think
the flutes and everything.
Those kind of things
the
in a
Civil
private
War-
setting is okay, but in like a public setting, like in a public world, unacceptable.
But technically, VRChat. So that actually ties into something else that VRChat used to say, but they've sort of backed off on it now.
kind of a gray
In the loading
area,
screen,
honestly.
I don't know if VRChat still does in the loading screen say that you may be banned for doing whatever in a
Oh, it'll list
public
a few
or
things.
Friend Plus. Yeah, the
I think,
loading
that's, I think
things,
that's still on there, yeah.
doing certain
I'm
things
pretty
in
sure
a
it's there.
public.
They've just
or,
added more slides,
yeah,
so it's not
they
always
specify. They specify though public type instances, which include public, group public, Friends Plus.
Yeah,
they specify
there. I think
that.
those worlds that are more accessible to more users, not
Yeah, well,
including
okay,
like
so,
friends,
the thing
private
is,
invite plus.
the reason I'm pointing that out, that they specify those types, they are excluding private instances, invite plus, group plus. They are excluding those avatars or those worlds.
Okay, so I actually want to cut in here because what y'all are talking. If you scroll down just a little bit, there's instance behavior, and they do specify between public instances and private instances, and they actually do list each one. I can read them for you if you want me to.
No,
go
we'll
for
get
it.
to that. We'll get to that in a minute.
Well, that kind of ties into
we're
what
gonna
we're
go
talking
through-
about right now, so it's good to
Yeah.
cover that in the moment,
I
you know,
would-
while it's fresh.
But
Before we go any further,
thing
I
is,
would,
when it
I
comes
would
to the
like point
guidelines, you
out
have
just,
to.
Go ahead, Turtle.
So the fact that they're giving these behavioral guidelines outside of specifying down to the instance behavior, public versus private instances, and public instances in their explanation in the guidelines is public instances are easily accessible. This includes public and group public instances. That also, in a sense, includes Friends Plus, Group Plus, and instances like that.
Instances that you can easily
and all they-
join without
All they
being
specify for public instances
immediate
is
friend of the
do not
creator.
disrupt or troll public instances with inflammatory behavior, e.g. adult content or behavior, controversial topics, sensitive, intimate, or provocative content or activities, extreme horror or shock content. Do not interrupt or disrupt people's activities or games. Every world may have its own rules, so it's hard to cover all the bases and control behavior in every case. These include cheating, abusing in-app or in-game systems, not being a good sport, or just generally being a jerk. That right there means doing any sort of a cheat in a public game world is actually against VRChat's community guidelines.
Prime example for like a cheat in a game world would be for like what most VR people use, Play Space Mover. Using
Play
that
Space
in a
Mover,
game
yeah.
world is against the rules because it's cheating, which by that definition, it is technically breaking VRChat TOS.
Yeah, like if you're in a tag world and you use PlaySpace Mover, you're technically breaking the community guidelines.
Now,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, but I'm
understandable
reading
if you're
this.
using
How the
PlaySpace
fuck
have I
Mover
not
for
been
like
banned
people's smaller
yet?
avatars to move upwards to grab something.
They're
It's
not
kind of
going to
different.
ban everyone for using PlaySpace Mover in these instances.
No, I'm not.
and it would
I'm
have
not
to be
talking about that.
egregious.
I'm reading both public and private, and I'm like, I'm somewhat guilty a little bit of a few of these things. I'm not gonna say which ones,
So,
but
anyway,
In
the
public or
private
private
instances.
instances?
here's the private
Yes.
instances. Note: private instances need an invitation or an in to enter. This includes invite and invite plus instances, friends and friends plus instances, and group plus instances. Well, I guess that's
Oh,
a little
okay.
different than
Oh,
what
that's
I
us.
consider
That's
a
us
public
right now.
instance.
this
Yeah.
is our.
That-
This is
that's a little different than what I consider a public instance. Also, another note: the rules that you see in the loading screen also say, or recorded or streamed from a private instance. So you still have to consider the public instance rules if you are streaming or recording.
Like this
at
instance,
you,
because
hub
of the
users.
stream going on
Yeah.
with the podcast
Yeah.
and all, this very instance technically counts under the public category for VRChat TOS.
Yes, because it is
Currently,
publicly
at
accessible.
Mm-hmm.
So
It may not
private
be
instances.
accessible directly, but they can get it from the streaming platform, which makes it public.
Okay. Follow the rules as presented by the present authority. This could be the instance creator, event runner, group, or venue moderators, a party host, a game master, or whatever is appropriate. The VRChat rules are the final word if a conflict occurs. Certain portions of the inflammatory behavior guidelines may not apply in private instances as long as everyone present consents. Okay, so that then means in private instances, you can have fucking, for lack of a better
Tits.
way to say this, Nazi Germany. You could,
Well, I mean, I
could
wasn't gonna go
reenact
that far, but
Nazi
damn.
wait,
Germany.
Read the last
I mean,
one. Read the
as
last
an
bullet
extreme,
point.
that is definitely
Turtle.
reasonable.
Turtle. Read the last bullet point for context. Read the last
Harmful
bullet point
or hateful activity is never allowed on VRChat, even if everyone is or consents. That
Okay,
though,
I guess Nazi Germany stuff
that,
is
though,
not allowed
no.
whatsoever.
No, it would be. Because here's the whole that you have to understand about these rules and how they're laid out. It would be because it's not hateful against anyone in the world. It's not hateful in any sense. It is a reenactment. Reenactments are not hateful or harmful.
Oh, going into
Reenactments are actually
reenactments being educational does make more
Yes,
sense.
exactly.
Because technically speaking, a reenactment is educational because it's playing back
Yes.
events to
So
learn
there's
from
a-
them so we do not repeat them.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
lot
educational is
of
different
like
from
war
just hating on
groups in VRChat that actually do reenactments in VRChat, and I was invited to a couple of those groups a long time
Mhm.
ago. Never really got into it.
And you
Um,
didn't invite me.
This was years ago, and I was drunk when they invited me, and I was like, okay. And then I ended up trying to join the Air Force, and
Why
that's
does
a
this
long
sound
story
like-
that I had to actually completely
Yeah.
disconnect from those.
Thing, you know? It's like
I legally had to disconnect from those groups before I chose to go into the Air Force.
I'm not even.
Like,
I'm not even going to bother with the next one, which is behavior outside of VRChat. I mean, I'll read the top, and
wait,
that's it.
behavior outside of VRChat? Hold up. What?
Hold on, what?
Wait,
Yeah,
th-
just
that's
right
a
below.
section?
It's
no.
right below.
Oh, okay.
okay.
All
So,
it
if you
all
are-
it says is basically that behavior outside of VRChat is not controlled by VRChat. So take action using other platforms' tools. That's basically them
Oh,
saying
okay.
if someone's being stupid on Discord in a Discord server that we don't own, don't fucking come to us. Go to Discord.
Yeah, if somebody
go
you
to
know
the
on
moderation
VRChat,
of that
like, you
Discord
would hear in a
server.
bar
They
in real
even
life and they
provide-
punch you,
bro.
don't bitch to VRChat. What are they gonna
No,
do?
they even
Jump
provide
in
a
the
link.
bar?
If you actually look at it out, they actually provide a link at the very bottom. Suicide prevention lifeline in chat.
Which,
At the
now
very
that you
bottom.
mention circuitry, now that you mention it,
That
brings
being
me
in
back to a
behavior
bullet
outside of
point.
VRChat is very weird, but I mean, it's good that that link is there, but
Yeah, I'm
does
glad
it
the
really
link is there,
belong
but
in
at the same
behavior
time, why
outside of
mention
VRChat?
it?
All right, back on
I
topic.
mean, in
though.
a technical sense.
Back on topic. since you mentioned that circuitry, I wanted to bring us back to a bullet point in the behavioral guidelines, which is, and I
Okay,
quote,
let me scroll back
do
up.
not use VRChat as a medical or therapeutic tool, device, or methodology. It is way too fucking late for that,
Oh, God,
but it's
wait.
on there.
Oh my
Oh
god.
yeah,
wait.
it is right there. Yeah.
I wonder how
Hold
long
on.
it's been
Do
there.
not engage in, promote, organize, or participate in illegal behavior. Includes the organization, promotion, or support of violent extremism, including the glorification of violent events, perpetrators of said events or acts, or similar behaviors. So, guess what? Anyone in VRChat that, oh, I wish they didn't miss when they shot at Trump. They're
They
breaking.
technically
Yeah.
were breaking
TOS.
TOS.
Yeah, you should
Yeah,
be
they're
banned.
breaking. Yeah. And they,
They
can
should
be
be
banned for that.
100%.
I don't think anyone should get
And
shot
I
at regardless.
100%. Exactly. That's what I was saying, and we
If you
have
went-
talked about
if
that
you
on a podcast
actually
episode
went
previously.
on Twitter, if you went on
Yeah,
Twitter or
that's
you went on
off
Facebook,
topic.
you went on Instagram, you wish death on Trump, guess what? You deserve to be fucking banned. VRChat just said it right in their fucking community guidelines. Read them.
Yep.
And I'm sure there's many other social platforms out there that
okay.
have a similar
Anyway,
saying, or at least
Let's
something
continue.
Twitter
along the
does.
lines.
I know that.
we're going a little longer tonight because we're going through all
yeah.
of the guidelines.
You know what?
We need
Sure.
to go.
So here's the next one. Do not make threats of violence or threaten to harm others. This includes direct, indirect, or suggestive threats. So no telling someone to go off themselves, which I 100% stand by. Don't do
I
that,
agree.
even as a
Like,
joke. It's
no
not
one
right.
should ever do that. No.
Yeah. I
Sharing
want
or
someone to go
threatening
fuck
to share
themselves.
someone's... Oh, hold on. This one is basically just... Okay. Sharing or
Well, that
threatening
actually-
to share someone's personally identifiable information, also known as doxing. This applies regardless of public availability of information. Does that count if I'm telling someone, hey, go find my information? It's funny.
That's you sharing it, so no.
Yeah, but
Well, yeah,
that's
you're
you
giving
sharing your own
consent at that
information.
point.
I don't
mean,
think
Turtle,
that.
does consent actually apply to that? If you actually say, "Hey, this is my Twitter. You can go and message me there." Is that giving
I
consent
would
to you
say
doxing
if
yourself?
if you dox yourself,
I don't
that's more or
think-
less just you sharing your own information. Now, it
Yeah,
puts
it's
in the
not
context
a
of
self-
someone
Your
else sharing your
personal
information
cell phone
without
number.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Anyway,
or if you
You're
have a PO
inviting
box.
someone to
Would
open the
it be
door
considered-
versus someone just breaking it down.
Would
Exactly.
it be considered
By the way-
Turtle's
he
trying
said
to
it.
dox me by trying to get people to figure out his address?
I didn't even think about that. You are effectively
Oh, wait,
putting
actually-
Soapy in danger.
Real quick, Turtle. Can I give you 30 seconds? Can I give real quick? I actually, I'm glad this came up because I actually I wanted to bring up an idea to you and Sobi. You two should get a PO box and see if people will send cool shit to you and do a box opening.
So,
they are not
the
ready
thing
for that. Are you
is,
kidding me?
getting a PO box literally
it's not
gives
that
no
expensive.
safety. No, listen. Let me finish this sentence. Getting a PO
Okay.
box is literally not even the slightest of a safety net unless I decide I'm going to drive a half hour away and get a PO box in a town 30 minutes away.
I would
Because
highly
a town of
recommend that
1,000
if they
people-
were to do
Wait.
that, I would say 30 minutes to an hour drive to the next post office for that. Because, like, as a postal employee, those the PO boxes that you would get locally are really close. You can literally drive 5 minutes to your nearest post office and get to the PO box. Like,
Yeah.
there's always going to be a post
Yeah.
office within 5 minutes of where you're at. Always.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
this
I
is
have
a
a
mailman
post office.
speaking.
What I'm saying is, if we got a PO box, I'd have to drive way the fuck out to go to it and get to it.
Yeah, but I
I'm
do
willing
too.
to accept things. I'm willing to accept things from people that I know and trust. I will give them my address to have them send me stuff. I've done that for a handful of people in the past. I even actually got some Flirtual stickers and shit and a little card from them for doing DJ events with them and stuff.
But then
But
there's
let's
another
continue
workaround
this.
for that whole thing. Like, sorry, a little off topic, but then you've got Throne, which is a more recent program out there for like a lot of content creators.
Oh, yeah,
and that
Throne.
conceals
Yeah,
your
Throne.
address.
But
Yeah,
Throne
Throne.
only allows
I have a
certain
Throne.
Yeah, you have
items
to
that
look it up.
exist on Throne, from what I understand about it.
True. And their
So it's
list is
not just
growing, but that's as
anything,
people suggest
and-
stuff.
And you also
it goes through
can't
an approval.
You also can't send someone a personalized item through Throne.
No, you just
Oh, no,
what you do
definitely
is
not.
you go on Throne and you put a link to the item that you want.
Yep,
I
this is a
tried
thing.
I'm pretty sure
using
Throne
Throne
goes
and
through
that
and
didn't
approves
work.
stuff.
Yeah, Throne only has certain items that you can do. It's not like just putting an Amazon link on there and saying, "Yeah, you can
Okay.
buy me this Amazon product through Throne." That doesn't work.
Turtle,
Alrighty, well,
I'll make
sorry
you a
to
deal.
bring us all into
You
this
send me-
far off tangent. So
Turtle,
let's get
you,
back on topic.
I'm gonna make you a deal. You send me your address on DMs. I'm gonna mail you a package of 20 handcuffs, and I want to see a picture of you wearing every
Welcome,
single
TB.
one of them.
God damn it! Then I'm gonna have 30 pairs.
No. And he's gonna use them on me randomly.
I will send you the address.
All right, you
God
send it to
damn
me.
you.
I will send you 20 pairs, and I want to see you wear
Deal.
30.
Oh God, I'm gonna have to
I
find all
kinda
the other
wanna
ones.
see-
There's
You know
stuff
the
in
problem
my
with
closet
that
door.
circuitry?
Anyway, let's continue.
Back to
He's
topic.
gonna
shall
want
we?
to try to figure
So-
out how to
Hi,
handcuff
GB.
somebody with one hand.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
fuck,
gonna,
yeah,
no,
you
it's
know
gonna
it.
be even
I'm also
funnier if
gonna
he
just
figures
walk
out
to the
how
bar
to
with
unlock them.
handcuff.
No.
I
Here's
don't
the
have
thing.
like
He's
one
fucked-
handcuff
he's
key
fucked-
anymore. Anyway, let's
There's
continue.
one pair
Let's
of
continue. Let's
handcuffs.
continue. Shh. Let's continue. Let's continue.
Back to topic,
So,
please. Too far.
Content
follow
or
along, don't
so
worry.
do not make threats of violence or threaten to harm others. This includes content or behavior that glorifies or promotes violence, self-death, or self-harm. I had to change one of those words on the spot because I am not
Just
saying
say
that.
unaliving. Unaliving.
Game end.
No,
Removing your own
self-death
self.
works, but-
It's
yeah, 404 not rain not
in
found.
Minecraft.
Anyway, we strongly discourage vigilante behavior and may take action. Circuitry. Note that down.
Got it.
Vigilante behavior being jumping in and doing something for someone
I'm
else
screen capping that shit
like
right
at risk
now.
of yourself, you know.
Yeah. So listen. We strongly discourage vigilante behavior and may take action against it, as it can interfere with our investigation of and report incidents to authorities.
A
What
good way to put that
authorities?
is don't be Batman.
That's what I want to know.
Batman, no.
So
Authorities,
what
I
they're
would
saying is
assume, would
basically,
be like government
if
entities and
VRChat
or local
yeah.
police.
so if VRChat is already working with and a
Don't fuck it
vigilante
up.
happens to go after that same person, that fucks up the federal investigation and could legally get you in trouble.
I know, but
Yes.
I just wish they wouldn't be pussies about it and be like YouTube and Twitch that actually just put it out in the fucking open, saying we work with this agency. You know, it's like putting a sign on your back gate that's if you jump in the backyard, you get bit, it's your fucking fault.
Also putting a sign on your gate about like beware of dog, whatever. You are actually worse off by putting that because you are accepting and showing that you know this is a problem.
No, it's a deterrent.
No,
That's the
no,
point.
no.
Deterrent only
It's a
works
deterrent.
if-
It's a deterrent, but as soon as someone breaks past that
Oh,
sign
it is
and
a
gets
deterrent.
bit by
You agree
your
with me.
dog,
Mm-hmm.
yes, it is a
Doesn't necessarily
deterrent.
stop
But
anything. It actually
But
encourages
if
those who
someone
are brave
goes
enough.
past that sign and gets bit by your dog, you are getting sued, and that sign is exhibit number 1.
No, I'm just gonna say they trespassed
That
on
is-
my property and they actually
Yes,
saw the sign. They
but
ignored
it
the sign. They
doesn't
ignored
matter.
my
Doesn't
property.
matter.
I
Legally
see
does
both
not
ends
matter.
of this
Look up the
argument,
legal
and they are
precedents.
both correct.
Look up the legal
The legal
precedents.
stuff
The
does
legal
overlay.
precedence is if you are displaying a sign saying, "Warning, this is hot," then you are saying, "We know this is dangerous, but we're giving it to you anyway."
That varies by
Putting-
state, though.
Yeah, it does vary from state to state.
So it's because if it's on like a coffee or something, then it's understood this is going to be hot, and the warning is just a hey, remember
That's a
this
common
is hot.
sense thing at that point.
Yeah,
and
but
that goes
if
all the way
you
back to
put
the
up a
whole
sign-
McDonald's fiasco with coffee way back when.
Don't get me fucking
That was
started.
actually
Oh,
legitimate.
God, let's
because
not
I,
get back
I
into
will
that.
tell
Oh,
you
I know it was
about that
legit.
sometime.
I know it was legit.
It was legitimate. Anyway,
I
so
know.
Oh yeah, it was. I know.
What
I
I'm
know
saying-
it was, but...
is if you put a
I can give you a
sign
different
on your
example
fence saying "Beware of dog," that sign is you admitting that your dog is dangerous. Someone trespassing, getting bit by your dog, that sign will fuck you over.
I disagree, but at the same time,
It-
you've never been to Oklahoma, so
There have been in many states with that exact thing happening before.
okay. So let's say
It
I
is
shoot
admission
someone on my
of-
property. Castle Doctrine count?
Yeah, I was
Castle
about to
Doctrine.
say.
Yes.
Castle Doctrine
that's a
does
completely and
stand.
totally different law. That's way different than you having
Okay.
a sign saying, "Hey,
Entirely.
this place is dangerous."
So if I put a
Don't
sign
come
on
in
my
here."
front door and I say, you come in my house and try and kill me, I'll kill you first.
There are other laws that protect you. There is no law that protects your dog biting a trespasser.
No,
There's
I'm
no laws
just
about
saying
that.
it's
Anyway,
it's a
let's
deterrent.
Continue. Let's continue. It is a deterrent that can screw you over. I agree, it is a deterrent, but that specific one
Yeah, and that's the point of the
has
sign.
screwed people over.
If the criminal knows the law system
the-
enough, then they can exploit it. But other than that, it's kind of a
Exactly.
rare case.
But that's the point of the
Yes,
sign.
but it
if
has
anything,
happened.
you're
and
actually
if they
like.
get bit and injured and
Oh,
go to
first
the
of all,
hospital,
we shouldn't even be
they're gonna
saying
get a
that,
lawyer,
Pope, because now we're just
they're gonna
giving
get in trouble.
criminals ideas.
Well, this information is just out there. This information
public
is out
information.
there. Go look it up. It's so fucking
Yeah, but most of them are
out
fucking
there.
retarded, so
Anyway,
let's not go
let's
there.
continue. Let's continue. Let's fucking continue. We're done arguing about things that are
We
literal
strongly,
facts.
Vigilante,
Are
we're on
you-
Vigilante,
are you
the one
actually?
below it.
Do not use VRChat as a medical or therapeutic tool, device, or methodology.
Yes,
I find it hilarious
I agree.
that is
Go see a
in the
therapist.
VRChat.
I am
I
not a
find it
goddamn
hilarious.
Please go see
psychiatrist. Stop
somebody
treating me
else
like
other
one.
than somebody
Anyway.
in VR
I find it hilarious that is in the VRChat community guidelines because so many people do that. They come to VRChat to cope.
But yeah, it's a
We're not gonna
therapeutic
name
tool
names.
for them.
Fuck
I
you.
understand making friends.
Do not
and,
impersonate other users
doing
or
stuff.
misrepresent
Stressful,
communities,
still.
especially to mislead or confuse others. Oh wait, do not impersonate authority figures such as developers, moderators, group administrators, or moderators or users in similar roles. So you can't, Eddie, back the fuck off. You can't,
Eddie has input.
if you're in a
You gotta
group
give Eddie
public
some
world
love, bro.
and you say, oh, I run this instance. I'm part of the mods for this instance. That is, and you're not, you can get banned from VRChat for breaking the community guidelines.
Give me a second, I'll be right back.
Note to
So,
self: delete
I think the only-
Turtle02 account.
What?
Long story.
No, I gave you permission. You still have the login
That's
for
a
that?
different case.
I don't know. Hang on. Yeah, let me do this while we're talking.
So the next section is VRChat systems and technical guidelines. Reverse engineering and or modifying VRChat applications is not permitted. This includes injection, reverse engineering, sideloading, exploiting, or any similar activities. Circumventing anti-tamper software is strictly prohibited and will result in permanent bans. So basically, if you use a client in VRChat, permanent ban.
And that has
Do not-
technically been in the guidelines since day one, with
And-
the addition of that last portion for the circumventing the anti-probing programs. Like, for
and
example,
that was
Easy Anti-Cheat
that has
is one of
always
those
been-
programs.
that has always been enacted. Just it used to be a little more flexible, and they wouldn't do much about people not using malicious clients.
Right. And I
And-
believe they
and
definitely
that-
upped what they were doing in regards of retaliation to that stuff once the Easy Anti-Cheat system was enacted. Since once
Yeah.
that was enacted, VRChat went straight into a monetization mode in which companies will not pay them if they didn't actually follow through with this guideline.
Yeah. Well, also, VRChat implemented Easy Anti-Cheat, and I'll talk about that a little bit here, but we're not going to get into it too much. They implemented Easy Anti-Cheat because they were spending most of their development time on the cat and mouse game, trying to eliminate malicious clients
Mhm.
and things like that. So they weren't
Easy
actually
Anti-Cheat
able
helped catch
to
a lot of those
Yep.
terrible people who were
they-
terrible at actually doing it.
So they weren't able to spend much time adding new features or fixing bugs in VRChat, and it was negatively affecting the platform very greatly. As soon as
Definitely
they added
slowed
Easy
down the
Anti-Cheat,
development of what we all love now.
yeah, as soon as they implemented Easy Anti-Cheat, within months after that, they were pumping out update after update with new features and bug fixes for things that had been existing for months, if not years. And
Not to mention
no one ever
adding
looks
in,
at that. There's like easy
stuff
anti-cheat's
for
not right
optimization.
for a social game.
I understand that a lot of people hate it. I mean, I'm not a big fan of easy anti-cheat
like it.
myself. It's too easy to circumnavigate, but it is useful and it does its job.
It eliminated a very
90%
large
of the
majority
effort
of
that
the
they
issues.
put towards
Yeah.
fighting the problems. Because then
Yeah.
it left the staff the much needed ability to do what they needed to do. But that into that.
Let's
part.
continue. Do not engage in activities intended to cause damage or gain unauthorized access to another user's account, network, or system. This includes impersonating authority figures, distributing malware, authentication theft, phishing, DDoS, and other hacking or social engineering techniques. Not
For
much to be
anyone to
said there.
understand
That's
that,
just standards.
no one should ever ask for your password. No staff will ever do that. So never give your password out to anyone. Seriously.
Yeah. Technically, unauthorized access to another user's account, that's, I guess, giving someone your password and saying, hey, log into my account is authorizing them to. But still, VRChat really needs to implement a thing, which I believe they are still working on. I have heard word in the past that they are working on this. A way for someone to sell an avatar to another player or transfer an avatar from one account to another without logging into that other account.
That would honestly be nice. I would imagine that they would potentially put in a code system to use on the website version of VRChat, so that way you can just put in the code and transfer the assets.
What it's probably going to be is I upload an avatar on my account. You either give me, or you either share upload rights to my account, and I'm now allowed to upload to your account, free and clear, not modifying any of your previous content unless it was uploaded through me uploading it, or it would be through me uploading it to my account and then clicking a share or a transfer button that would initiate the transfer to you, and as soon as you accept it, it's received on your account and taken off of mine.
That would make sense, and
It's
I
gonna be
would
one of
like
those
to see
two.
that kind of system.
Let me
That kind
know
of
when I
system
can
would be
chime in.
really nice, and it would save the problem of sharing passwords.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure VRChat is working on that system. They have been, I guarantee they've had hours and hours of meetings trying to work out the best way of implementing it, because that is a very complex system. I just explained it in a super simple way, but the code behind it
you
is
definitely
outrageously complex.
oversimplified, that's for sure. It's not an easy task to even think about doing that.
But I mean, in the end, that's how simple it will be for the users.
Oh yeah, the user interface end is going to be where it's easiest. It's the back end stuff where the developers have the hardest stuff to do, where they got to put in everything.
That's another thing that I have issue with people in VRChat. People look at VRChat and be like, oh, all they did is add this button to change my avatar height. That's so simple. It's just one button.
Do
The
they
code
understand
behind it, though, is
the code?
outrageous.
The original creator of Go Loco, who had that on their asset, they went through painstaking hours, I can imagine, just setting that up. And I'm pretty sure VRChat maybe reached out to them, or they figured it out themselves.
No, VRChat wouldn't have reached out to them about it. VRChat worked on it entirely on their own because VRChat had to implement it in a way different way than that.
Right,
did.
true. And honestly,
anyway,
I think
let's
it was
continue.
very well executed.
Hang on,
Yeah,
if I can
I
steer the
love the
direction to an
height
unrelated
change.
matter for a second. So sort of for the looks of it, it looks like my Turtle Dude 02 account actually got deleted.
How the fuck?
I don't know, because
Funny.
I've not been able to log in, and I'm not seeing it in search history either.
Was it Turtle
I
Bro
did.
01 or something? I thought you had Turtle Bro or something.
I looked up both, none of them are showing up.
Damn.
Anyway.
Anyway.
I did, however, while I was searching through our general use of Turtle Dude in the search bar, find an account that just says go sub to youtube.com/turtledude01.
wait, that was you? That.
Oh my god.
No, that's not me. That's not me.
That wasn't you?
That's probably
Okay.
someone else entirely. That's
No,
hilarious.
it's someone I just happened to find. It looks like they haven't even touched this account anymore, but they're on the search history.
Let me fucking. Oh my fucking god. You're right.
Search up your name.
That's.
Oh my god.
That's hilarious. What the fuck?
Advertising.
Oh, boy. Well, if anyone
I
wants
really
to just
want
look
to know
up
who
Turtle
the
Dune on the
fuck
VRChat
that
website,
is.
you'll see that.
Just look up this user.
Okay, anyway,
You'll find him in no
let's continue.
time.
Too funny.
Let's continue.
Yeah, let's continue.
Back to
So,
topic.
okay. Do not circumvent VRChat sanctions such as bans, public bans, kicks, or other systems. Doing so will result in increased sanction severity. So basically, don't circumvent a ban or a kick.
It's something they've already
Don't-
stated before, but they're double
Yeah,
stating it
don't make-
just to be emphasizing the thing. Like it's an issue
Don't
on any and all
mean by-
platforms.
Okay, so which one are we on?
What they mean is, we're down. We're almost back to instance behavior. We've got one more point, I think. 2 more, 3 more. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Do not abuse VRChat products in any way, such as selling VRChat accounts, spamming support or report forms, or participating in fraudulent activity involving VRChat systems. This includes the creation or usage of bots to abuse the VRChat product or services, or to abuse other products or services using VRChat. Some usages of bots are okay, but they are subject to the same rules as users. So that pretty much means if you're using the VRChat API to do simple things like instance management, similar to how VRCDN used to do it before the group instances were created, that's fine. If you're doing it to track users, like verify them in a Discord server that, yeah, they actually have this VRChat account, that's fine. But doing it to do anything else is not okay. Pretty
Like
much.
maliciously observing, recording, and whatnot stuff without the consent of the users. That's definitely one thing. And,
Yeah.
And Chibi says to check your DMs when you can. By the way, Journal.
I will.
And then I guess technically against the TOS thing. So, for example, if I wanted to sell my VRChat account, I technically can't do that. That would be breaking
Yep.
TOS.
Yep.
Just so I interpreted that correctly, right? Would that sound correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I
that
can't
is standard across
steal
most
someone else's
platforms.
account and sell it
Yeah.
instead.
Which
I can't do that.
it's basic things. Most services don't allow you to sell accounts because that's just stupid, and that
I mean,
that's
accounts
them
are
being
free.
like, I added
can
you as a
create
friend.
them.
Well, that also that's like me selling my
Yeah.
account because I have this popular creator on it. Oh, now my account's
Yeah, and the
worth
second they
thousands of
find out
dollars.
it's not actually you, they're
Right.
gonna jump ship.
I
Yeah,
can't. I
that's
can't
just
tell you who.
shitty.
So I can't tell you who told me this, but somebody told me that because I have on my Blizzard account, my Overwatch account, I have the Pink Mercy skin, and I also have like over 100 different unique skins from like several different events, ranging back to like 2016, 2017, etc. But apparently, my account, if I sold it on a specific website, I'm not saying which one, but this person told me I could sell it for a minimum of $2,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because a lot
Okay,
of those skins
anyway,
you
Well,
just
that's
cannot
for
get anymore.
collectibles purposes, though. But
Let's
still,
continue.
That
it is
would be for
technically against
collectibles
stuff.
purposes, but that's
Yeah, that
just
is
like a
against their
minimum.
TOS,
That's
yeah.
that's a minimum, but at the same time, I'm leaving if I'm not using the Blizzard account.
Anyway,
I could
let's
care
continue
less.
because that's a
Change the username
completely
and then
different
sell it.
thing.
Yeah.
So, use the in-app reporting tools and out-of-app report form to report community guidelines violations. Immediately report any exploits or vulnerabilities regarding VRChat services to our exploit disclosure form. Reasonable and reasonable.
And I would like
I
to
don't
double
really-
back to the do not abuse VRChat products.
Oh man, the group instances
Hang on, before we
rules.
go anywhere, Turtle.
Hold on, Turtle.
we're there.
Back up.
Part of this bullet point. If you think your report's not working, if you say that you've sent hundreds of reports on one person, that's why. They are not
Yes,
responding
there
to
was
it
a-
because you are just spamming their accounts. Send one and
There
let other people
was-
do the work.
One,
was
maybe
one
2
key
reports at most is
previously.
okay. That's it.
wouldn't even say two.
If you over and over, if you multiple times report the same person for the same thing, or even different things, it's unlikely to be taken seriously because now it's considered
I would
spam
assume it would fall
and
under
just gets tossed
the
out.
spam category.
And there was
Yeah.
a bullet point of that previously. So let's continue into the group instances section.
My favorite.
Group instances are instances created by a group. These include group public, group plus, and group only instances. Groups may moderate their instances how they see fit. Group moderators can employ verbal or text-based warnings, system-level warnings, kicks, or even bans to enforce their rules. Don't speak on that part yet. Let's get all the way through the whole group instances before we talk about that, because it's going to rebuttal against itself a few times here. Group instance rules must be reasonable. In other words, people should be told about the rules should be fair, and the rules should make sense for the environment. It is the responsibility of the group to inform group instance occupants of any group rules they need to follow. Any rules should be fair, they should be possible to follow, and they should follow the spirit of the VRChat community guidelines. No hate, no harm, no harassment. The rules should make sense and should be should not be exploitative. For example, okay, requiring people to wear poor or better avatars at a crowded event. Not okay, requiring people to watch an advertisement before joining a group instance. Groups may not enforce rules that supersede VRChat's rules. You can't enforce a rule that breaks our rules. Groups should handle group moderation appeals and processes. If a user contacts VRChat Trust and Safety regarding a group ban, they will be directed back to the group. Having an appeal process for your group is ideal. However, you aren't required to have an appeal process for your group. You are welcome to deny appeals or inform users that no appeals are accepted. These types of instances are fairly new, so these guidelines may change as we learn how people use them. Keep an eye out for these changes. So basically, it's mainly the first and second point. The groups may moderate their instances how they see fit, and they must be reasonable. Now, would we consider a black cat instance saying you have to be over 18? Would that, as a group public instance, would that be reasonable?
I was going to say, the one thing that really kills this entire thing is that one in the middle that says, you can't enforce a rule that breaks our rules.
and that right there, actually, you know what? That's a good point. Because
oh my God, they came to a
personal
consensus.
Information,
What?
requiring someone to give you personal information, such as your age and date of birth, is already against VRChat's TOS.
Yeah. So
In other ways.
technically speaking, all those 18 plus worlds out there that are group publics, they're technically against the rules.
Yep.
And technically speaking, just being an 18 plus community with the rule must be 18 plus, verification required.
It is impossible.
That is
for
against VRChat TOS.
Yeah, that's
So
against the
technically
rule. You
speaking,
can't
anyone
enforce
can
a
get in.
rule if it breaks our rules. What the fuck are you talking about?
That is an interesting, conundrum there, because it also goes against the first bullet of the.
So okay, let me
enforce
explain
rules
a
of your
really
own.
drastic way of explaining why you're laughing
Please,
about that
just
rule.
go to the depths. I want the ninth circle, Turtle. I want
the
the ninth
most
circle.
drastic
We're
way
going to
of
the
them
11th
saying
circle. Are you
that
fucking kidding me?
a group's rules cannot go against VRChat's rules. Basically saying you can't have a group that requires you to be a racist asshole to be in it.
Is that the worst?
That's the worst I can think
that's
of right
going
now.
to an extreme in Turtle's
That
head.
is,
The
I mean,
worst
that's
that's
not the
acceptable for
worst,
the
but that is an
podcast.
extreme. That is an extreme. That is the complete
Yes.
opposite of one of the rules of VRChat saying you can't do this thing, and a group saying you have to do that thing. That group is not allowed by community guidelines.
Okay, so hypothetical would be, let's say you have a group instance, let's say nude colony. No clothes allowed.
Interesting. I believe that
Oddly
would
enough,
definitely go against
there are groups
TOS
like that.
if it's.
This is probably
I
going
know
to
of
muck up
one
my
public
search history,
instance.
but
Oh God! Don't.
I
Well,
know
no, I'm
of
just
one
saying,
group
I'm
that
saying
is
like
exactly that.
if California
Open up,
allows nude
incognito.
beaches, I've been on
Don't
one.
save your.
yeah, you know what? You're right. I'm an opera. I could just have 12, but you raise a good point.
Oh my God!
Yeah, so
Just
search
save yourself.
that is
There's no saving
technically already a thing. That is a thing in VRChat. There are groups that do require you to not have clothes on your avatar. Don't ask how I know. Someone wanted me to join one, and I was like, yeah, I'm good.
So we didn't have to ask. You said it.
Oh, I'm shocked you didn't go.
Fuck you.
I'm more shocked you didn't go.
Okay.
Well, the reason I didn't go is because it requires you to break VRChat's TOS. And I mean, technically, the group can have its own rules, and so technically, yes, It's a
No.
yes. It's a
As long
private
as it's kept
instance,
in
so it doesn't have to
private
follow.
instances.
Yeah. So
Then that's an
if it's
exception.
a private instance or a group only instance, yes. But what scares me about this group is you just click join and boom, you're in the group.
Oh, it's a public group. Oh,
Yeah, it is a public
Okay.
group with
that
group
is
private
questionable.
instances. And yeah, that's definitely like, I don't care if it's against TOS or not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go to any of their instances because all it takes is one kid to be in there and someone record or screenshot, or really all it takes is someone to record or screenshot and everyone in there can get banned
Yeah.
just for existing in a world.
And I think stuff like
And
that
that's-
is where the ID verification comes in. It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah. Anyway,
Real quick,
So-
Turtle, check the EMs real quick when you have an opportunity. But I actually do want to add on to that. It's just like, because I'm pretty sure if I scroll back up the group, if I scroll back up, when it comes to, it's just like, okay, so do not attack or discriminate against anybody or a community based on attributes such as race, ethnicity, national origin, sex, gender identity, gender presentation, sexual orientation, religious affiliation, age, serious illness, disability, or other protected classifications. So would nudists, people who actually like to walk around naked, be protected in a way?
no.
Yeah.
Unless it is their religion to be nude, no.
Which, let's be
Because
fair,
nudity-
if they were to go that far, they would probably.
Because I
make it a
really
legitimate
don't
thing.
know.
If they go that
Yeah.
far.
So it would have to be a religion and a religious activity that requires it, and that's just not a thing in any religion that exists on Earth, as far as I'm aware.
Currently.
Yeah. So anyway, I think we've gone through the whole community guidelines. We touched on points on the TOS that I wanted to touch on. All talked about it, and I think we all have a greater understanding of VRChat and its rules now because of it.
Honestly, I
I
definitely
can
learned
say
a few
that-
details that I didn't know before, which is
And I
nice.
can officially say I've read
Exactly.
the terms of service.
Yeah, we're no longer liars. We're no longer liars.
We didn't just click the I agree
We
and then
did
just
it
made
live
it
in
go
VRChat.
play.
You cannot say otherwise.
We're on stream. We got caught. We read it together.
Oh, yeah.
man.
It may be like 6 years later, but hey.
And anybody in chat
Yeah.
is also
6
read it
years
now,
down the
thanks to
road,
us.
I'll be on my deathbed, and next thing you know, I just be, oh, I got banned.
Damn. I didn't expect that
That'll
to go
be my
there.
last words. VRChat, you better put a fucking tombstone. That's my last words. Oh, I got banned.
I read the terms of service.
Oh, no. It's
That was
actually
on my tombstone. I read the TOS.
You know what? You know what? Do I need to change the title
joke.
of this?
Hold up. Turtle, Pokesh.
You probably
You know
do.
the joke. You know the joke. It's
Yeah.
So, do we need to change the title of this episode to "We Read the TOS and Guidelines"?
I'd say yes.
I mean, that might be a good idea because it's honestly
well,
accurate.
Yeah.
It was VRChat community guidelines, but we can actually change it to we read the TOS and the community guidelines. Which, by the way, before we go
what I
anywhere,
just said.
Turtle, I am going to say this. I challenge you to come on my channel and let's have an extended discussion about the TOS and about the
Oh,
stuff
God.
that we argued about tonight.
I don't know if I can handle
You'll-
that.
I'm
You'll have
challenging
to-
you. No, it would be just me
You'll
and
have to
Turtle.
give me a
and
day
if
that I'm
Stealth-
available.
If Stealth
Oh, no.
wants to join, he's more than welcome to moderate. But
Oh, one of y'all.
You
I
think you can
absolutely
control
want to
them?
absolutely go
No.
through the ringer. And you know what? I still
What
need
was
you
it
to
again?
change my mind because I'm still not convinced on a lot of this.
Not
we
with
need to
a
find a
six-pack
middle
we're gonna
of
go
hard
ahead and-
apple cider.
We're gonna go ahead and wrap things up. So, if I can ask you to all stay quiet for just a minute here while I go through the closing statements. Closing statement fucking feels like court now. Anyway, thank you all for
Objection.
coming and joining. The fact
He's
that
a
you
mod,
said
he
that
can
right
do
after
it.
I said coming just killed my brain. That's a clip. Anyway, thank you all for coming to the episode 36 of the Beyond Pixels podcast. We've been doing this since the beginning of January now. So we are 8 months in. Been really fun. We're going to keep going. We're here every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time on twitch.tv/TurtleDudo1. You can see all prior episodes on YouTube, TurtleDudo1 as well. There's always a link below. Make sure you follow, subscribe, all that jazz. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Anyway. Do all that fun stuff, and also join the Discord. There's a link down below wherever you're watching this. And you can join in, give your ideas for topics, and we'll go from there. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and do the shill that always comes at the end of the episode. I think we started with stealth last time, so we'll start with circuitry this time.
All right, I've been streaming a lot on Kick, so I'm having a lot of fun over there. I don't know why, but you can go to kick.com/circuitry / and that's where you'll find me. Otherwise, keep an eye because I will be uploading some YouTube content here in the near future on youtube.com. Again, SYRKATRII. Look me up on Twitter. Look me up on join our Discord. I love actually interacting with people, but if you see me on TikTok, report that account because that's not me. I will never join TikTok. Fuck TikTok. Also, follow me on Rumble.
Okay. And Pokash, do you have any shilling you would like to do?
Define.
Anywhere people can find more of you, Twitter, Twitch, anything.
YouTube, Twitch,
if you
etc.
stream, anything.
What's
Anything where you
OnlyFans.
post content.
I stopped that a long time ago. I don't post anything
Okay.
anywhere. If anything, if you want to encounter me, just go into a random public world in VRChat. You'll be lucky to run into me.
Pokash is cool. And stealth. Wow, I am failing at words today.
It's okay.
Can you
It's okay,
English?
Turtle. We're here for you. No, he can't.
Wait, there's the one
Me, though, at twitch.tv/DeltaFox, Turtle, we've been having a hard time getting game night set up on Mondays, so I guess I can't really include that in the schedule anymore.
Turtle is the
Yeah.
next read right now.
I missed like 3
Yeah.
game nights. So,
Yeah.
at some point, I will start streaming stuff on a regular basis. Might be a lot harder, because at some point this month, we're going to get my kids signed up for school. That is going to impact
boy.
my schedule hard. So pray for
Children.
me. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next stream.
Okay, and it was great having you guys here. I'll go ahead and let circuitry or whoever talk about whatever they want for a minute while I figure out what I'm going to do here.
I know
Okay,
what I
so
wanna
what
say.
I'll do is I'll actually go ahead and tell everybody in the comment section. What I want you to do is go into the comment section of this YouTube video, and I want you to tell me what your version of the community guidelines would be. What would you change? And more importantly, what would you add? And I would
subscribe.
love to read those. Also,
Put a
yes,
capital
subscribe,
E
leave a
somewhere
like.
randomly in your message.
Also,
And have you read the term of service?
Fuck it, shit show, never forget.